Why is being healthy so freaking hard? Is there another way? Welcome to the series. I'm Alicia. Before we get started, remember to subscribe and hit the bell if you haven't already. Today we're talking about meal prep. Why do most people want to meal prep? For most, it's because they want to be healthy, but it feels really stressful and overwhelming to do so much cooking and also stay on top of nutrition. Now, this is understandable, but what can happen is we end up trying to set it and forget it so we don't have to think about it. And I've realized that this actually was hurting my relationship with food more than it was helping because I was disconnecting with myself. I was causing dysregulation in my body and mind, which is a concept I'll dive into deeper next week in the series. So all this week, I've been talking to you about how I have to learn to tune in. And meal prep, in the way that I was doing it, it had me tuning out. So instead of listening to my body and my needs, I was, deciding everything in advance. Now, is there a balance that can be struck between listening to our bodies and having healthy meals not be so stressful? Yes, but my old course, Meal Prep Ignite, did not teach this. It was really focused on the food and the facts of how to meal prep. And I realized it wasn't getting to the root of the problem, the why. So I spent about a year and a half trying to figure out how to update that course to accommodate this discovery. And I realized I couldn't update it. I needed to actually just start over. So this year I launched my new meal prep course, Mind Over Meal Prep, and I am so very proud of it. It teaches meal prep, but in a sustainable and approachable way. It's not overwhelming, and most importantly, it caters to your needs. The main problem with meal prep and getting resources online is inevitably, they're only really relevant to the person who makes them. So everyone needs something different. And in this course, I made it revolve around you and getting to know you. Actually, in week 1, you do what I called a data assessment to learn how and what you eat. You mindfully reflect on what you find, you fill out all your homework forms, and then you learn how to create a plan that works for you, your family, your needs, your body. And mindfulness is a huge component that a lot of the lessons focus around. And I really wanted to show how to bring mindfulness to life and to meal prep. My overall goal from here on out with this channel is less stress for you around health, food, cooking, nutrition, all of it, because I wasted so much time and energy being worked up about it, and it only made things worse. I didn't lose weight, I didn't get healthy mentally or physically, and I didn't make peace with food until I found a way to stop being so stressed about it. So that is my mission, and that's why it really is all a matter of mind over munch. The course is up if you want to enroll or check it out on the website to see the full curriculum. Today I'm gonna show you what a sustainable meal prep looks like for me sometimes, but it changes week to week, honestly. This video revolves around a concept in the course that I call components, and that is how I really approach my own meal prep to keep it stress-free and sustainable, but also versatile so I'm not bored. Now, my meal prep mantra has become less is more, less ingredients, less prep time, less stress, and you end up with a more satisfying and fulfilling experience that is far more sustainable. Meal prep should lower stress, not add to it. I recommend not starting with all of your meals, so this week I will prep a really easy breakfast and a dinner. I work from home these days, so for me, lunch isn't as stressful to throw together, but in the mornings, I have too much to do and thinking about breakfast stresses me out. Dinner is what I struggle with the most. I determined this by knowing me with my data assessment. You need to get to know you. So to create this prep, I have used my meal planning tools from the course to brainstorm options and shop efficiently. If you're enrolled, you get access to all the templates. For breakfast, I'm keeping it simple with oatmeal. Bulk oatmeal that's ready to reheat. It tastes really good to me, even though I'm not typically a leftovers person, and it's easy to diversify. I just boil water and salt, add the oats to the boiling water, and then reduce the heat to cook to your preferred consistency. It's gonna take, 5 to 10, maybe 15 minutes. It depends on how you like it. And then you can store that for the week, and in the morning, you just reheat it with a splash of water over the stove or in the microwave and add toppings to keep it interesting. Sometimes I'll make it sweet, peanut butter jelly is a go-to. I add cinnamon, peanut butter jelly, some fresh berries or fruit, and usually I've been using date syrup to sweeten lately, as well as some slivered almonds for crunch. It's so good. Sometimes I'll also do a maple banana walnut, which I'm showing in a video later this month. I also keep oatmeal fun by making it savory. You know, avocado with a fried egg, some sriracha, actually I prefer Cholula, green onion. It's a really simple way and it tastes like a different meal. I also have a whole video that I did last year on savory oatmeal too. Now, if you end up with leftover oatmeal, you can turn that oatmeal into a muffin. And in the Mindful Meal Prep course, I show that easy recipe. If you don't want to reheat oatmeal, you can cook it the day of. And I've shown in the past how you can mix the dry oatmeal with, you know, cinnamon, salt, or any seasonings or sugars in advance. So it's like a dry oatmeal packet in bulk that you can just scoop and go to. So there's no one way to meal prep, and that's what I want to get across in this course. For dinner, I am actually sharing a demo directly from the course, and this one revolved around incorporating a protein, a carb, and a vegetable to keep it nutritionally balanced. I already had rice at home, so I'm using that rather than buying more. I really only need a protein and veggies, and of course, whatever I need to season them and cook them as I'd like. I decided to base my meals around ground chicken as my protein, which was on sale this week, and I got some carrots and broccoli for veggies. Sometimes I'll use just one vegetable, sometimes I'll use more, you know, it depends on how I'm feeling that week, how much time I have, and what I find at the store. Frozen vegetables are also a really good way to keep meal prep quick. I decided to make 2 different meals for the week for 2 people. We're ordering in on Friday, so I'm gonna make dinner Monday through Thursday on meal prep day. So I have 2 meals, the burgers with fries and roast broccoli, and a stir fry bowl. So what is my approach on prep day for dinner? I usually start with the rice if I do regular stovetop rice, since it takes like 40 minutes. Of course, it depends on what kind of rice you cook and how you wanna cook it. Sometimes I will cheat and use frozen rice, which takes no time in the microwave, or instant rice on the stove, which is almost literally instant. I decided to do that this week since I had it in the pantry. It only takes 5 minutes. It is important to plan your prep day at least a little bit. We talk about this a lot in the course. If we don't, then we end up stressed on prep day and more things go wrong. So if you take a few minutes to ground and consider, you know, what makes sense to do on prep day? What order should I do it in? What will take the longest to prep? That is your prep day game plan, and it's really important to use something to write it down. Either one of the templates that I provided in the course or your own system is fine. Okay, so the rice is cooking. In the meantime, I portion half of my meat into burger patties, store them in plastic individually, and then they're ready to cook on the stove, you know, the night that I want to eat them. They'll only take a few minutes and I get to enjoy a fresh meal. I'm not gonna actually season them until the time that I cook them. For the vegetables with that meal, I wash and cut them. Both the broccoli florets and the carrots I do 2 ways, one as fries and one as rounds. The carrots are one veggie that work really well for meal prep, either raw or cooked, because they last in your fridge. Remember, you have access to the best and worst guide to inspire your choices. I cut some of the broccoli into smaller florets for my stir fry too. Now, I can store the larger florets and the carrot fries. I'm not gonna cook those until the day of eating, but they're all ready to go, so it will be really quick. If you do have leftover roast veggies, you can always add those to, you know, a savory oatmeal as a topping too. I'm gonna make the stir fry now on prep day, and there's a few reasons I decided to do this. So one, I have a couple of nights this week where I know I'm busier for my schedule, so I want some food already cooked and just ready to reheat and eat. I know a stir fry is one food I actually don't mind as leftovers. Burgers and veggie fries are better freshly cooked in my opinion, but a stir fry is still tasty reheated, so you do you. So for my stir fry, I start with my meat. When I cook ground meat, I prefer to start with it as big-ish blocks and let it start to brown before flipping and breaking them up, because the browning is gonna add so much flavor. Once the meat is cooked, I set it aside and cook up my vegetables with a little bit of sesame oil. So first I get the onion in. I almost always cheat and buy the pre-chopped. It is gonna cost a little bit more than a whole onion for sure, but you know, you determine what works for you. For me, this keeps meal prep sustainable week to week because I like the taste of onion, but I hate cutting onions more than anything. It's just not worth it to me. Once the onion and garlic have softened, I add in my vegetables and let those steam for a couple of minutes to get soft. Then I can add the chicken back in along with the cooked rice, and finally I can season it with soy sauce, a pinch of red red pepper flakes, and finish it all off with some green onion for a minute or so. So that stir fry took literally, less than 15 minutes. I can store it for the week as you'd like. I talk about storing in the course. As you can see though, the whole meal prep only took me about 30 to 40 minutes to cook the oatmeal, the rice, prep the veggies and burgers, cook the stir fry. So in under an hour, my breakfast is prepped, my dinners for the week are cooked, stored, and the dishes are clean. To me, that little bit of planning, sometimes it's annoying, but it makes my life so much easier during the week, and I'm so much less stressed about cooking, grocery shopping, and health. The point is less stress. It doesn't need to be crazy. This is meal prep. During the week, on the nights I'm not as busy, I just get my carrots and broccoli tossed with oil and seasonings of choice onto their roasting pans and into the oven. Then I can cook the chicken burgers over the stove, and I can serve those on buns or lettuce wraps, whatever I'm feeling that week. I can also cook those chicken burgers and clean the pan that I cooked it on before the fries and the veggies are done. So this doesn't need to take up a ton of your weeknight time if you go about this with intention. The more that you do this, the whole meal planning and prepping process, the more natural it will become, because you'll get to know yourself and your needs even more as you go. A big part of this is noticing. That is the huge part of mindfulness, noticing. If we don't stop and notice what worked, what didn't, if we can't do it with curiosity and without judgment, then how are we gonna find the inspiration to continue? If we tune out and we don't notice, we don't appreciate, or if we become frustrated and think, meal prep is the worst because it didn't work out this one time, then it's not gonna serve us. In the course, I give specific tools to help tune in and notice what worked, what didn't, how can we improve? Not to mention, there are many examples and ideas for what to prep to. The course is open through the next week if you want to enroll. I really trust it is gonna help people make peace with food. It does require some work on your part. Not so much cooking work, but taking a look at yourself work is the hardest kind. If you're willing to do that work, then it really can become so much easier. So enroll if you want to support yourself. Also, if you want to support me and the channel, this video course on YouTube and in email this month is free, but the Mind Over Meal Prep course is a helpful way to support the channel since we aren't getting paid for this other content. So thank you so much for being here. I hope you'll share this video with someone who wants to find an easier way to stay healthy, and remember, it's all a matter of mind over munch.